So my friend Zach was planning on getting Mass Effect Andromeda until a day before we realized that it's been getting mixed reviews from quite a few critics. Right here you see 13 mixed and 23 positive, so barely positive on the Metacritic site. Um, Not good for a Mass Effect. All the other ones scored between 91 to 95. Uh, Even though 75 isn't that bad, it's not good for a Mass Effect. Very disappointing. Most people say it's very disappointing. If you look right here, the user score 3.8 negative. On the other two versions, it's pretty much about the same. You know, you have 78 with a 3.9, and Xbox One is probably around the same. 77 and 3.9, so yeah. But Zach and I were planning on playing on the PS4 version, right there. Um, yeah, ooh, that's not good. Um, Now keep in mind, most user scores are full of shit. Just a bunch of trolls, hating on the game just because it's an anticipated game, it's a big title, blah blah blah. And also, this game has only been out for 1 day, not even. So chances are most people haven't even beaten the game yet. They had a 10-hour early access beforehand. So let's say I played this game for a dozen hours. I don't like it. I don't like it so much to the point where I can't finish it. But I think it'd be appropriate for me to, give my thoughts on it since I paid $60 for it. And keep in mind, I'm speaking hypothetically, obviously. Um, so I'm reading a lot of these, and most of these complaints are like the same complaints from different people. A lot of times when a game gets really bad user scores, they're just like really bullshit made up stories, but a few of these are actually quite spot on with what I've been seeing in gameplay videos. We're talking bad frame rate issues, really bad bugs, terrible facial animations, zero emotion whatsoever, bad story writing, bad this, bad that. To me, the game does look fucking horrible. But I kind of gave BioWare the benefit of the doubt, since they have a history of making really great games. Um, and, yeah, I mean, some people say it's good. I've never met a person who said it's amazing. Um, and most people say it's either very bad or very disappointing. Um, yeah. Like, look at this guy. Worst BioWare game ever. Avoid! Awful animations, terrible writing, lame story, boring combat, flimsy world design, bland exploration, laughable character design, subnormal AI, appalling directing, lousy voice acting, insufficient RPG mechanics. The list is long. Pack all of this terrible game design into an awkward, alien sexual fantasy soft porno, and you have Mass Effect 4. Mass Effect 2, Baldur's Gate 2, and Dragon Age Origins are three of my favorite games of all time. It is so sad to see how far the once legendary BioWare studio has fallen from greatness. Rest in peace, BioWare. 18 of 27 people found this helpful. So most of the people who read this liked it, or agree with it. And a lot of these negative reviews have positive feedback, which means that most people do in fact hate it. These aren't even trolls. I'm actually not convinced that most of these are trolls. I really think that these are people, because most trolls give games zeros, period. These guys, we have 3 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10, That other guy that I just read had a 1 out of 10. There's probably like a 4 around here somewhere. Someone gave an 8, and a lot of people actually liked it. So, I don't know. We have a 4 out of 10 right here. Roughly half of the people found it useful, helpful. Um, so yeah, this is not good for a Mass Effect game at all. Even Mass Effect 3 had a better user feedback in like the 5 or 6 range, uh, because of the ending. Um, so yeah, I was planning on getting it. Now I don't think I'm going to risk it. It would make a hilarious review if it really does have terrible animations, terrible fucking movement and stuff like that, where every time you run it looks like you have to take a shit. Alright? This would have made a hilarious review, but I'm not gonna risk spending $60 just to make people laugh at my own expense. And these people who already know that the game is not worth that money. So yeah. Just letting you guys know that I will not be reviewing Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm not saying it's a bad video game. I'm just saying it's probably not a good video game. um, there have been plenty of games that get great reviews that I don't like, and there are a couple games that didn't get good reviews that I did like. Um, for a Mass Effect game, Mass Effect Trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies, if not my favorite trilogy in video game history. And I feel like I don't want Andromeda to ruin that bond that I already have with Mass Effect. Stop moving. This thing keeps fucking moving because the advertisements all over the place. Yeah, I just don't want it to ruin it for me, you know? Mass Effect has always been a very special thing for me. Mass Effect 1 is like my second favorite game of all time. Some people didn't like it because of how clunky the gameplay was and how bad the graphical pop-up was. And, that game had a fair amount of problems too, but it had great writing, um, great RPG elements, great story, great characters, all that good stuff that makes Mass Effect special. And if Mass Effect Andromeda doesn't have all those ingredients that made Mass Effect great in the first place, I want nothing to do with it. So, yeah. So, is Mass Effect Andromeda a bad game? That is not a rhetorical question because I really don't know. I've never played it. I'm not going to call it a bad game just because it looks bad, you know? Comment down below, guys, if you have this game and you've been playing it, let me know. Because I really want some honest feedback, and right now it's not looking good for Mass Effect. It's just not. Anyway, guys, yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.